Good morning, everyone. Glory to God in the highest, and on earth, peace to people of goodwill. Praying about envy. That is a continual theme that I have to fight against. Hi, welcome to the Kevin Gregg Show. This is a show that's designed to help you reflect, refresh, replenish, reinvigorate your life according to God's call for your life. I'm your host. Glad to have you here. I was looking at several things, and then all of a sudden I looked up at the clock and I went, oh my gosh, I got to go live like right now. I was in another world. Glad to have you here. If this is your first time, welcome. Uh, we're doing this live right now. So if you have any comments or questions that you would like to put in the chat feature on YouTube, please feel free. I will read your comments and respond. Hi, good morning, Goddess Patina. Hello, good to see you. Welcome to our show. What was on my mind? This show is a great experience for me to show up, and sometimes I have things that I've got planned that I'm going to talk to you about, and then other times it's just sort of a showing up and practicing in public and going with a wisp of an idea. I had to deal with this last night as I was going to bed. Long weekend. Um, Super glad that I got the refreshment that I did over the weekend, because last week I'd been burning the candle on both ends, getting some work done, hitting some deadlines, but definitely feeling burnt out. Um, and as I was talking about this in my men's devotional group this morning, uh, it really is a reminder for me that I have to get regular rest um, in order to be functioning my best. There's people that I've known in the past that, man alive, they, for some reason, you would hear this about like Winston Churchill or like JFK. These were guys that would get like 3 hours of sleep and they keep going. But then, of course, you look at their faces in pictures and they were pretty wrinkly and craggly, right? So there was definitely price to be paid for all of that. For me personally, I know I've got to be getting decent rest in order to function and to be able to focus properly. So I was able to get that. But, over the weekend, there was just a couple of things that sort of hit for me. I don't know if you have ever felt this. If you have, please feel free to leave a comment there. Um, Social media is one of those things, I've said it before on here. It is amoral. What amoral means is that it is neither good nor bad. It's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's how you use it. You can use it one of either ways. You can also use it for good, or you can use it for bad. But I feel like it's amoral, just like water is amoral. Water is neither good nor bad. It's just a thing that we need to survive. You can drink and clean in it, or you can drown in it, right? Same thing with fire. You can use fire to warm yourself and cook your food, but it could also start a forest fire and burn down stuff. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just amoral. Social media, same thing. One of the aspects that's very frustrating for me at times, and I can get caught in this trap, and maybe you do, it's sometimes it just seems like people are living their best life on social media. And there's a tendency with that, isn't it? Isn't it strange how things have changed? When I was growing up, some of you may remember this, but it was about having photo albums in your house, right? Uh, you'd go on family vacations, or you go to places and you would take these pictures and get them developed. Or maybe you'd work on a show as an actor or something. You'd take cast pictures, but you would have these pictures and they were in a photo album so that when people came over, you could show them, or you could show them the photo album. Hey, look at the things that we've done. Or, um, it was a thing that you would bring out to remember these things, but they weren't as easily accessible and in front of us all the time. Um, and it's interesting how we've sort of changed, right? We're living in the moment of the past, or we're so inundated with everything else that's going on for other people. it can be crazy. There are definitely times, and I had this happen for myself this weekend. I'll be transparent. I had some moments where I was sort of, looking at other people's social media accounts, and I went, gosh darn it, they're living a great life. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And it's very easy to it's very easy to get stuck in that orbit of thinking that, and it's not helpful. It's just not. Um, because I don't also know the full story. And it could very well be like a celebration of something that people are, people have hit something which is amazing. And it's like, amazing, good for you. But for some reason, for me, sometimes it really pings those things where I feel like there's it can hit on a version of lack. And, I was talking about this with a friend of mine a few days ago, which is I have to remember, uh, and this is the human nature, right? The human nature is, and I've had it happen in the past with me, that I could get to a point where I get those things that I think that I have been, longing for and that would give me fulfillment. And it would be only a matter of time before it would be something else that I feel like I'm lacking, right? Like C.S. Lewis talks about this, which is like we exist in this world where we're always craving something. We're always craving. And the thing he describes it as, we're ultimately craving God. That's the thing that we're craving in our heart. But we're searching, we're searching, we're searching for things. And this was a thing that my friend had to remind me of today, too. It's like, where's your focus, man? And so when I'm having these feelings ping up for me, it's a real indicator that my focus isn't on God. My focus isn't on Christ, right? It's somewhere else. Doug, let's see what you said. People always put their best lives on display. But when you dig, you find they're just like us. Yeah, Robin Williams comes to mind. That Robin Williams thing, that it's such a shocker, right? When we see that happen, particularly with celebrity or other people that you think that they've got it so all together. Jim Carrey has talked about that before in the past, where he's talked about like, I wish that everyone could have their their wildest dreams come true and realize it's not worth it, right? I have to say this. For some reason, I just felt led to do this. I think that Jim Carrey is an incredibly talented guy. I don't know. Jim Carrey, I don't know if you're ever going to watch this. You may not, but I'm just praying for you, brother. I just feel like sometimes there's definitely been in, documentaries or things I've seen, he's definitely somebody that is searching, and I feel like there's a lot of pain and all that stuff that's there. So, I don't know. For some reason, Jim Carrey, you come to mind. So, peace for you today, you know? Um, Doug says this, in my good moments, I'd rather just enjoy them rather than to stop and take a picture of that event. Yeah. This was a thing that I used to see on a regular basis when I was down at Disney. Um, I saw the first waves of this happening, right? Technology, because really in the, um, I would say like in the early 2000s, as cameras were like getting smaller and you'd be able to capture more stuff, and they'd have better screens and stuff, you would walk down, I'm telling you, man, you would walk down Main Street USA in Disneyland, and there were times where I would see like, easily 100 video cameras, where it was just like people were you have these little handheld video cameras that people were holding up in front of them, and they were experiencing their entire day at Disneyland like that. And yeah, that was a fascinating thing to experience. And then, of course, now, like over the years, it's just completely turned into the phones that we just keep in our pocket. But I saw the beginning stages of that. And the first thing I thought was like, wow, this is so weird to me. Like, this is weird that people are actually physically here, people that have come from across country or from different parts of the world, and they're experiencing it through this small little screen. Um, there's really something to be said about just like turning it off for a minute. And I did get the chance yesterday again for, I would probably say most of the day, I'd probably say a good 13 to 14 hours, no phone stuff on, like it was completely off. And that's a really good habit that I've gotten into. Um, so there you go. I'll have to tell you this. I'm going to go completely off tangent for a second because it was one of the things that was distracting me just before I came on. I am absolutely obsessed, right? This has nothing to do with anything. Somebody's going to listen to this and go, what is he talking about? Maybe it has to deal with the idea of like removing yourself from like technology. I am absolutely fascinated right now with like self-sufficient homestead, like gardening or farming or whatever that stuff is. I'm absolutely fascinated with this right now. What was it? I just discovered a show the other day that I guess apparently it's been on for 7 seasons, which is like Homestead Rescue, which is like this guy from Alaska and his 2 kids that they're adult kids, but they like go to these homesteads that are just about to, completely, they're about to lose their homestead, and then they come in, they completely save them, show them what to do. I'm fascinated with this stuff. Goddess Patina, let's see. We experience it through a small screen so we can watch it on another small screen later. Yeah, life passes you by that way. It absolutely does. I mean, it's like we live in this amazing, beautiful world, right? And of course, this is something that's been going on. There's been warnings about this for probably the last, you know, 40 or 50 years with, you know, kids being glued to television sets. And I don't know. Is it strange to me, like, even as I look over, like I look in my living room right now, I'm staring over, and it's like I literally like have a huge black box that's just right there. It's so strange to me that you can have like this, you can have these vibrant colors, this vibrant room, and then you just come to this one thing that it looks like it's a black hole, but it's like in a square shape. And you just go, that's kind of, you know, what would ancient cultures think about that? That you come into a house and that the main focus, like the thing that it's weird, isn't it? Like, even as I'm looking at it now, the one thing that we have is like our little altar in our room is like a big black square. What would ancient civilizations say about that? I think it might really freak them out. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I've been absolutely just fascinated with this idea of like homesteading and self-sufficient backyards. And maybe there's a part of me that goes, listen, man, I come from, uh, on my mom's side, the a bunch of dairy farmers that are from, Ireland. And maybe there's a part of me, and, you know, in the back of the genetic makeup that God gave me, I kind of want to roll up my sleeves and get back to that. But I don't know. Anyway, just a thought that I wanted to share with you guys today. Incredibly grateful for you guys, as always. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. I want to tell you the stuff that's coming up this week on the show. I believe Patrick Quinn is coming back this week, and also my friend Matitz Yolochin, who you saw a couple of weeks ago. He'll be visiting us. So I don't think it's going to be live streams for the rest of the week. I think it's going to be 2 pre-recorded shows because I'm having meetings with those guys. To catch up on it. But we want to thank you continually for showing up and supporting the show. Yeah, please like, subscribe so that YouTube lets you know when there's more episodes that are coming up. And also take a look through the back shows, and if something pops out to you that you just go, wow, this really speaks to me, and you want to share that with somebody else, copy the URL and share it with another friend to come on back here. Also, another great way to support the show is by going over to kevingregg.locals.com. Right now, I have a specific series that is only for kevingregg.locals.com. subscribers, you can actually see the link that's in the description of this video below. The video series that I'm doing is called Parameters for Working on a Project. I'll have a new episode that's coming out this week for my supporters. The first episode is absolutely free for anybody to join over. You don't have to pay to join Locals. That's where I usually do a lot of my other social media posts. But if you want to get access to exclusive stuff, it's a great way to be able to support the show. So thank you guys for being here. I truly appreciate you, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. We will see you soon. Bye-bye now.